Brainman. The boy with an incredible brain. He had Asperger's. That's it. That's the whole story.
To scientists, this man is a gold mine, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
He's extremely smart, but he still lives with his parents. I don't know.
Genius.
That's his mom.
It's not human.
Daniel Tammet claims that since he was 4 years old, he's been able to do huge calculations in his head. So, in August 2002, we dropped
2002.
by,
Okay,
armed with a
79 to
calculator.
2002. 4 years old.
And
It took them 20 years to get there.
I've got here, can you?
They got there
We
eventually.
first asked Daniel to multiply 37 by itself, 4 times.
Gotta do my complicated math visuals.
One million
Carry the
Yeah.
one.
874,161.
Amazing.
It's my only skill. Man, this skill would be super useful like 100 years ago. It's really a shame, you know? We got computers. We can do that in 2 seconds. If only they knew the usefulness of a man like this back then. Now, worthless. We're just a worthless skill.
3917525.
You've
It's like I have a mirror. Now that I see that that's the end of your equation, I'm just going to start making up numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5. You notice how he speeds up? I don't buy it. 9, 6, 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 1, 2, 6, 1, 5.
amazing.
He's like,
When
yeah, I
you're
know.
Pointing to the table and doing
Prove it.
shapes,
Prove him
I
wrong.
think-
I'm seeing the numbers, but I'm not seeing them. It's strange. I'm seeing pictures, shapes, and patterns.
He's like, I don't even consciously do this. It just kind of shows up.
Daniel's brain seems to be doing something almost magical. It appears to be doing maths without him actually having to think.
He's got a secondary twin, a part of his brain, just a whole nother person, and all he does is math. And he communicates through fireworks.
As if this wasn't enough, Daniel is also a wizard with words.
He's got another twin. He's got 2 twins. He's got the math twin. He's got a language twin.
He knows 9 languages
you
and says
fucking
he
kidding
could learn
me?
to speak a new one in just a week. And is it really possible to learn a language in just 7 days?
No.
Daniel has agreed to be tested by scientists. Without warning, we'll give him a week to master a totally new language before going live on national television.
I can't do it.
In March 2004, Daniel took us by surprise.
The ambition is to remember pi to 22,500 decimal places and to recite it in a live environment with invigilators.
Hold on. That's
will be
just a memory challenge. That seems completely different, but okay. If he can do that too.
Making sure, obviously,
Go
it's
away,
correct from
Twitter.
start to finish.
Daniel reckoned he could reel off the first 22,500 decimal places.
But after that, I just get lost.
1415926.
They are gonna be here for a fucking while.
97494.
This guy...
5358.
She literally just started. This is the first 30 seconds, and she already hates her life. That seems like a miserable job. Why would anyone want to do that?
8577880.
This is like Autism Olympics right here. This is amazing. Everyone's just looking at
2
him like,
hours
why
later,
are you doing
And
this?
Daniel is barely halfway.
Absolutely staggering. It's beautiful to listen to the flow of numbers. It's beautiful to
It's like an opera. 2 hours of someone reciting fucking numbers. Excuse me, I'm ready to start again. Excuse me, teacher.
39952.
He was like out of it. He just 3, 5, 9, 6, 5. 22, 6, 5, 1, 6.
It's mesmerizing.
567091105172.
It's like watching God himself. I can't do something interesting for that long.
Finished, yeah.
A crazy bow. They act like he's the real hero. But these are the real fucking heroes. These poor souls. He's just happy to be done. Can't imagine
Yes.
listening to a man recite numbers and then make sure they match up to a piece of paper in front of you for 6.5 goddamn hours.
Does he, as he claims, have some strange power to see the answers in his head? His childhood holds a dramatic clue.
Well, when he was 5, he was abducted by aliens, and they put 6 brains inside of one head. Oh my god, is that one family? Jesus Christ. This poor woman. This is vagina.
I had quite a severe seizure as a very small child.
I saw the 7 circles of hell. Made a deal with the devil. That's how he got so smart.
To have changed something in his brain.
It's really from that time that I started to see pictures in my mind, images started to form.
I started talking in
Daniel
tongues.
also began to perceive the patterns within numbers.
I'd see dead people
Cases
everywhere.
like this are extremely rare, yet there are others who have also suffered injury to the brain, only to emerge with a startling and often similar kind of talent.
Okay, now how do we standardize this, right? How do we make this a procedure, right? When you're 7, we just need to like hit you in the head a certain way, and then you'll be really good at math for the rest of your life. I think I'm onto something here.
I was a batter. When I ran to first base, they got through the ball, and the ball hit me on my left side of the head. And I just laid on the ground. I didn't go to hospital, didn't get no treatment.
Orlando soon discovered that he could name the day of the week and recall the weather for any date since his accident.
That'd be a very interesting sci-fi novel, wouldn't it? If a group of people were intentionally giving children brain injuries in order to get them to be savants in certain areas. Turns out that's how you make superheroes. You just throw a baseball at their head. Just gotta hit the right place. And then don't take them to a hospital.
Most savants lack normal social skills, often because they're autistic. In fact, the link with autism is so strong that we wondered whether it could be a factor in Daniel's abilities.
Nope, no autism.
Cambridge
Just kidding,
neuroscientist
heavy autism.
Professor Simon
Autism is a spectrum of medical conditions where people have a lot of difficulty in forming social relationships.
He's very
But
essy.
it's also where the individual develops very strong narrow interests, obsessions.
So I would count the numbers on the hopscotch. This was what interested me, so this is what I would do, and nothing else mattered.
Do I have autism? Well, when I was a child, I would count the numbers on the hopscotch obsessively every single day. So, yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit autism.
I know he didn't integrate that well. I do remember you.
He didn't integrate that well, but he can integrate very well. That's a math joke.
I'd walk around the trees and look at the leaves, look at the patterns on the leaves
And I'd count every single leaf. 1 leaf, 2 leaf, 3 leaf, 4 leaf, 5 leaf.
around me, so I would always count things. So I would look at something and say,
Is that real
looks
footage?
like-"
If that's real footage, I believe it. I believe that's what he did. His teachers were probably like, the hell's he doing? I don't know. Just let him do his thing.
Because I was so different, the children who would be bullies didn't know what to do with me. You know, they didn't know how to teach me, so they just let me be pretty much.
by most
I was so weird I didn't even get bullied. The bullies were like, I don't know how to screw with you.
Daniel is lucky. Rare abilities like his usually come with severe mental handicap as part of the price. Dane Bertino is a savant too.
Here's an example.
For one thing, his gift is not for maths.
He's really good at remembering Pokemon characters. He can name every single color scheme for every single Pokemon. That's his skill. Even the shinies. Can't remember the names. That's beyond him.
Since he was a toddler, Dane has been able to draw with extraordinary precision.
That's pretty
But
cool.
there's always been a flip side to his talent.
That means he wants dinner.
Dane's language and social skills remain childlike.
But he would put the emotion in.
I don't know what pen he's using, but I fucking want it. Like, look how evenly that's coloring in. Look at that. Like, there's no even overlap. What pen are you using? That's beautiful.
How is this remarkable boy seeing the world? It would be fascinating to know.
Probably
If
similar.
only he could tell us.
I'm sure he's saying similar, just can't communicate the same.
What makes Daniel different from savants like Dane, and so extremely valuable to science, is that he can describe what's going on inside his head.
I experience numbers in a very visual way, using colours, texture, shape and form.
Man, can you imagine if that's how you taught numbers, though? I mean, maybe it would just be if they taught in school that 1 was not only associated with the symbol 1, but also like the texture of like bark or something. You know what I mean? Like maybe it'd be easier.
1, for example, would be very bright and shiny number.
So how do they?
Number 2 is kind of like a movement, right to
Oh,
left.
number
kind of
1
like a
is bright.
motion. 5 is like the clap of thunder or the sound of a wave against the rock.
That's so weird.
6 is very small. It's actually the number I find hardest to experience. Number 9 is the biggest number. It's very tall. It can be intimidating.
That's so cool.
Daniel says he sees every number up to 10,000 as a distinct shape or image. Until recently, many researchers would have dismissed this as mumbo-jumbo.
The scientific term, mumbo jumbo.
Dark and a sort of
Julian Asher, a researcher
He's like,
at
please
Cambridge
draw all
University,
the numbers.
experiences synesthesia himself, but is struck by how peculiar it is in Daniel.
For instance, I see what almost might be colored flames, this sort of a flickering, flowing movement. But Daniel sees very concrete shapes, which is quite unusual. When he's recalling a number to 22,500 digits, what he's doing is moving mentally through a synesthetic landscape and effectively reading the numbers from the landscape.
That's crazy.
To find out more, we're sending him to San Diego's Center for Brain Studies in California. First, though, he'll be traveling across America and putting some of his mental powers to the test.
Ah, America.
Daniel is in New York, but not as we know it. For someone who reads numbers into everything,
he's like
the
too
city
much.
Is giving him a strange.
Too much
vibe.
stimulus.
Being in New York
Overload.
with all these huge skyscrapers intimidating for me, and all the time I had this sensation that I'm being surrounded by nines. The number 9 is all around me.
I was gonna say, that's so fucking funny. I'm like, number 9's everywhere. And that's what he feels like.
Daniel is going to meet the chess hustlers, but he won't be playing chess.
The chess
Instead,
hustlers?
he proposes a memory game. He wants 5 minutes to memorize a board with 26 randomly placed pieces, and he's offering $10 for every mistake he makes. It's an offer they can't refuse.
These guys are sweating. They're like, God damn it. I thought I was gonna make some money.
Do you mind if we take the pieces off and test one of you two guys?
Well, like I said, I'm pretty impressed with you. I don't know if I can top it.
He's like, I can't do that.
Like to do it, but
He did better than I thought he would do.
F5,
I think he made 9 mistakes.
H4,
You owe me
If he's not
$90.
experienced-
If you're talking memory, though, there's one man who's in a league of his own, and Daniel's next stop en route to California.
Is that?
And Daniel?
Oh, is this the actual Rain Man? 'Cause that's Dustin Hoffman right there.
He was the guy that the Rain Man character was based on.
Yeah, they made him look a lot prettier.
It's my first time meeting someone else with whom I have this bond.
They're like, hey, you guys want to do math equations together?
Time they moved in.
33 times 22.
Total photographic memory. He remembers everything he's ever read. He can tell you every city in the United States, its highways and its area codes and its zip codes and its television stations and its counties and when it was made a state.
That's amazing.
The history of any country, all the rulers and when they served, presidents
Wow.
of this country, when they were born, their wives, their families, all of NASA's accomplishments, when they went up, when they came down, what they're doing. He can talk to you about the Bible. He can quote scriptures. He can tell you anything about it you want to ask him about. At 9 months, the neuropsychiatrist said he's severely mentally retarded. He will never be able to learn. You should put him in an institution, forget about him.
But Kim was reading encyclopedias by age 4 and had finished the high school curriculum at 14.
You guys were kind of wrong.
Pain.
Kind of the opposite.
He reads a page.
Is he holding hands? Is that his thing?
How fast can
He's holding hands. That's cute.
He reads the left page of the left eye, right page of the right eye, and remembers about 98% of it.
Go back through here.
What must life be? That's fucking amazing.
Kim, what year did Queen Victoria become queen?
1837 to 1901.
He's like, come on, give me a hard
If
one.
Winston Churchill was alive today, how old would he be?
130. Although I'm much older, you're still a fine man.
Thank you.
He's into him.
Yes.
It was almost as if he had too much information and he couldn't get it out quickly enough.
He probably does. He's doing a lot of touching.
His parting words to me were, we looked into each other's eyes and he said, one day you'll be as great as I am. And that was a wonderful compliment. And
What a baller. The confidence. The pure confidence. I love it. One day you'll be as great as I am.
At San Diego's Center for Brain Studies, he's about to face a series of tests. Does he really have some kind of sixth sense? An ability with numbers that goes beyond just memory?
When Rama first came to me and said, hey, we've got this math savant that's coming here and he can do 4x4 multiplication and he can recognize primes, and
when he said that, I said, sure. This is what I said, smiling through my teeth. I said, sure, yeah, go ahead, bring him down here. That's what I love. I love talking to savants.
With the pleasantries over, the testing can begin.
27 to the power of 6. Oh, can you do it to the power of 7?
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I can do whatever power the fuck you want.
When we tested him with some simple numbers, doing a two-digit number like 37 to the power of 7, very, very quickly he gave us the accurate answer. The question is, how is he doing it?
Yeah, I'm really curious.
One possibility is that Daniel has trained himself. Believe it or not, an extraordinary maths ability like Daniel's
now we're in China.
is something that ordinary people can learn. Here in Tokyo, some schools
Japan.
still teach the ancient art of the abacus. By the time they're 12, these whiz kids are fast becoming human calculators.
Well, I'm sometimes very strict, so some child cries, perhaps, or sometimes I hit them.
Oh my god. I'm very strict. Sometimes I hate them, sometimes they cry. It's great time. Jesus
They
Christ.
keep coming here. I hope they're
They
happy.
keep coming back.
But
I
when
mean,
they are training.
I don't know. It could be their parents. It could be their parents. But you know, something inside me says that they personally all want to come back to get hit and yelled at by me. We're a family here, you know?
Class.
How does it feel that you spent thousands of hours learning a skill that calculators can do in 10 seconds? Less than 10 seconds. A tenth of a second. Oh well. At least if nuclear bombs fail and every single calculator in the world gets destroyed, these guys will be able to do math. And that'll be cool.
I practice 2 hours on weekdays and 10 hours on the weekend. I want to become the national champion.
Dude, play some video games. Fuck.
Along with the other high flyers, he can now do huge calculations with a purely imaginary abacus.
That actually is kind of cool.
Children like this show us that with enough practice,
They all do it.
mental calculation.
Hi.
Yet Daniel
First.
insists he's not doing this kind of conscious calculation at all. The answers come to him spontaneously, out of his mental imagery.
It's like a different part of my
Rama and
brain
his
is
team
doing
are
it.
finding it hard to trip Daniel up.
It's hard to imagine him having memorized shapes. The question is, are they the same shape? So we can actually compare that now. That's 242. Now let's see his 242 today. Overall, there's a remarkable similarity. Let's take 58. Again,
I'd
same
want to do it like a
story,
year later.
Very similar, same color, same shape. So the general impression is he seems to be producing the same shapes consistently.
I was a little bit mean, and I played a trick on Daniel. He said he loved pi because it was beautiful. It was just this wonderful, special shape. Well, if it's so beautiful for him...
And I said through my teeth, well, if it's so fucking beautiful, why don't you fuck it? Why don't you have sex with the number? You nerd.
show him something that initially would look like pi on the surface, 3.14, and tweak it a little bit. Throw in numbers like 6, which he doesn't like. So sure enough, I showed him this bastardized version of pi, and we saw this very nice, warm galvanic skin response. And as he was scanning it, we kept getting another jolt and another jolt and another jolt, and it wouldn't stop. And he said, well, here's this beautiful number pi that I love, and I see it, and then as I'm looking at the landscape, all of a sudden there's a pit where it's not supposed to be. It's wrong, and how could you do that to something so beautiful? and while it was
That's
a little
pretty
bit
funny.
mean to do that to him, it really shows the point that he does have some sense of emotion associated with these numbers.
I see an image in my head, and
that image starts to change. It starts to almost like evolve.
So he's not consciously doing any calculations. It just like appears. He's like 32 times 64. I don't know. Let me think about it and see what shape shows up. 55. You know, like, that's crazy.
In a multiplication, the two numbers hover before him as distinct shapes. The gap in between makes a third shape, which Daniel experiences as a new number, the correct answer.
He's doing math, but he doesn't even know it.
That's weird.
When Daniel is now flying to Iceland for his ultimate challenge. We've given him a week to learn a totally new language from scratch.
Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, let's do it.
The difficult bit is the grammar, I would say. But we have funny sounds where you have nowhere in the middle like snarra. You do like a sound like this. In a colloquial speak, if a native speaker speaking.
Daniel's brain power may have met.
Don't even turn around. That happens all the time. We're in Iceland.
His teacher's early doubts are turning to amazement.
He was like a vacuum cleaner. I can see he was sucking up the words.
Little by little, hour by hour, I'm just beginning to tune in and hear more and more of the language and understand more and more of it.
You lucky bitch. He probably gets to watch so many fucking shows. Oh, I'm so jealous. Oh, fuck. Can you imagine, like, watching anime? He's like, man, I hate these dubs. I just want to listen to it in Japanese. He just learns it in a week. What a douche.
Daniel is making last-minute preparations before he goes live on air.
Velkomin. Velkomin. Hvernig hefur gengið að læra?
Eins og anda og ég með íslensku astma.
En þetta ekki bara plat?
How well has Daniel managed to speak Icelandic?
Sounds pretty good to me.
He was responding to our questions. He did understand them very well. And I thought that his grammar was very good.
Teacher's like, yeah, that was me. All me. All me. Grammar was me.
We are very proud of our language, and then that someone is able to speak it after only 1 week. That's just great.
That's just great. It's just fantastic. Here we were thinking this language is hard, and this guy comes in and does it in a week, making us look like idiots.